You're listening to Hearing the Silence of a Convicted Mind. I'm Chameleon. I don't chase noise, I study silence. Let's listen carefully. The case was closed. The sentence was final. When a convicted mind asks, most people answer. I listen to what the question does. Context. The voice I reviewed is a composite, mid-40s, literate, adaptive in conversation. Convicted for a financial conspiracy, sentenced, contacted through recorded facility calls. I was asked to review a series of conversations because the institution flagged, repeated, apparently benign questions. What felt off was not what he asked, but how the questions finished the work of conversation. They closed commitments rather than simply requested information. This episode uses fictionalized examples for analysis. Nothing here refers to a real person. Part 1. The question as shift. Language shifted across recordings. He rarely framed things in the past. He didn't ask, what happened? He asked, you thinking you can still handle that for me? The interrogative moved possibility into obligation. Repetition matters. The same structure, small question, quick confirmation, repeated until acceptance sounded inevitable. Future-oriented phrasing appeared disguised as curiosity. If I ask you to, would you try? That phrasing offloads decision-making and seeds the idea of a future act, while the listener supplies the pathway. Tone went inconsistent, light, almost casual on the surface, and underneath the cadence carried an assumptive tilt, as if the question had already been decided. Part 2. The silence around questions. Where language moves, silence follows. He placed pauses before key interrogatives, a beat, a soft inhalation, then the question. Those micro pauses did three things. They created anticipation, they measured the listener's readiness to answer, and they framed the next word as consequential. Breath patterns flattened emotionally. There was little vocal upset, so the question read as neutral and reasonable. Silence has patterns. A long exhale before can you signaled rehearsal, short, contained pauses after a question gauged willingness. If the line stayed quiet too long, the speaker shifted to a simpler probe, a smaller, safer question designed to win an immediate, low-risk yes. The absence of affect amplified influence. Part 3. The question as manipulation. Listen to the work questions can do. A compliance test. Would you mind checking that for me? Sounds like a request, but it clarifies limits. It measures who will act. Soft requests framed as curiosity offload responsibility. The questioner appears to be seeking advice, while actually steering a choice. Hypotheticals narrow options. If someone needed help, what would you do? Becomes a way to map capability without direct instruction. Micro questions recruit outside actors. Short queries to friends or family create social obligations. By asking, the convicted mind lets other people consent on their behalf. These moves are small, surgical, and cumulative. They are not dramatic, they are precise. Escalation, insight. Zooming out, the pattern repeats across many cases. Conviction limits movement, not cognition. Inside detention, the only available lever is language. Interrogatives become architecture for influence. Questions delegate tasks, preserve plausible deniability, and keep options open. The speaker adapts socially. Where physical direction is impossible, conversational direction picks up the slack. This is adaptive cognition. Strategic, incremental, and stealthy. Patterns like these are not noise. They're a form of continued operational thinking. The chilling realization. Maybe he wasn't reacting to what was said. Maybe he planned for this phase. Questions were placed to trap answers, to create obligations, to map resources through other people. Short sentences now, let it sit. He asked small things and watched them grow. Those quiet queries became commitments recorded on the other side of the line. Control close. Conviction closes cases. It doesn't always close patterns. Silence has patterns. Listen carefully. Pay attention to what wasn't said. The pattern never disappears. If you found this useful, subscribe for more forensic listens. Each episode isolates a small behavioral marker you can use to hear strategy where others hear only apology or confusion. Subscribe now and listen closely next time. Incarceration restricts movement. It does not restrict cognition. Some minds adapt. That's what I heard. Is the truth in what is said? I think sometimes it is. This is the Chameleon. Listen carefully.
They call it manipulation. Sometimes it's adaptation to constant observation. Because when you know someone's always listening, you learn how to speak without saying everything.